Good evening. You're watching The Right Stand with me, Poonam Burde. We're coming to you live from the CNN News 18 Federal Bank Primetime studio. Let's get you started with what we're looking at as far as positives in India are concerned. Mobile phone exports from India continue to grow at a steady pace. Led by iPhones, mobile phones export for the first 4 months of the current fiscal year have touched $6.49 billion. It's a jump of 39% over the same period last fiscal. According to reports, e-vendors created 15.8 million jobs in India, including 3.5 million for women. The report also noted that growth in employment and improvements in consumer welfare are the most widely recognized contributions of e-commerce penetration in the retail sector. Global sports giant Decathlon plans to invest 100 million euros in India over a 5-year period. This is to expand its store network to reach 190 stores across India. They're also going to be upping its digital engagement and source more made-in-India goods. The stage is set for a new era of growth fueled by recent reforms and strategic initiatives of the government. As India's manufacturing sector, contributing 17% to GDP, has been positioned as the sixth largest manufacturing economy. Adobe India Managing Director has said that India is a high-performing market for Adobe in Asia-Pacific region and it's among the fastest growing globally, adding that momentum on productivity, creativity and personalization are driving digital opportunities across new sectors. On to our top focus now. For the last 2 weeks, the rape and murder of a 31-year-old junior doctor in Kolkata's RG Kaur College has caught the attention of the country. It has shaken our conscience to the core, and details that are gory, that will shock you, tumble out every single day. It makes you face these harsh realities we live in. Today, the Supreme Court once again was hearing the case, and it came down heavily on the Bengal police. Kapil Sibal, the counsel for the state government, was seen floundering for answers when pointed questions were put forth by the CJI-led bench. All this while the TMC has patted the back of the Kolkata police for its swift action. But at this point, nobody seems to be convinced of that. Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud questioned the delay in registering an FIR, quoting the state government's counsel back to him to highlight the discrepancies in the investigation in the initial 12 hours. We'll get you those details in just a bit, but the anger and the aftershocks of this incident are being widely felt by the TMC. The BJP hit the streets in protest against the ruling government. They demanded Mamata Banerjee's resignation. Doctors, students, eminent citizens have all come together with one outcry: justice for this victim. Now, in the backdrop of all that, Mamata Banerjee, the West Bengal Chief Minister, has also written a letter to the Prime Minister. She has stressed that the centre should come up with a law in which the culprit gets punishment within 15 days. Is this an attempt by the TMC Supremo to turn the attention from RG Kaur to a larger malice that we're dealing with? Well, even if that is the case, we do need the reform for an entire system to address these systematic failures. It is a crucial demand. We need that to be addressed. But in this instance, shouldn't the TMC address questions its police and its governance faces? Let's begin by what happened in the Supreme Court today. The questions to the state government echoed the concerns of the victims' parents that were raised in the Supreme Court by the CJI bench, the protesting doctors and all those who've been raising their voice. The CJI-led bench posed these strong questions. These are the observations that came to the fore in that hearing. Why was the diary entry of an unnatural death made at 10:10 a.m. on the 9th of this month, but the FIR was only filed at 11:45 p.m. That was one pointed question that was asked by the CJI to Kapil Sibal, who was representing the state government. The demarcation of the crime scene, why was that delayed? This aspect is very, very disturbing, is what the court observed, that despite at 10:10 a.m. an unnatural death case being registered, a post-mortem being conducted, the crime scene was only secured much later. We haven't seen this procedure by cops in 30 years. How does this work, is what one of the judges opined. They also then went on to say that who was the principal, now the ex-principal of RG Kaur, who was he in touch with? Who was he protecting? Why did he not go to the police? Why did he not file the FIR? That's a question the court asked as well. How was this principal then given charge of another college? How did that happen? That's a question that was posed to the state government as well by the court. Now, during the hearing today, the most riveting aspect was the sequence of events that had been a matter of much speculation. The Supreme Court highlighted the loopholes in the investigation by the state police. After going through the CBI status report, the Supreme Court cited that the unnatural death entry was made at 10:10 a.m. on the morning of August 9th, like I just pointed out. The inquest Panchnama mentions that it was a case of unnatural death and that was made out around 4:20 p.m. Now, the CJI-led bench was asking these questions to the West Bengal Police's, the Kolkata Police's counsel as to when exactly these timings were made, and that's exactly how these loopholes and discrepancies came to the fore. When asked when the post-mortem was conducted, Kapil Sibal said the post-mortem was done between 6:10 to 7:10 p.m. that evening, which is the 9th of August. At 11:30 p.m. is when the policeman in charge went back to the police station and unnatural death case was made out. At 11:45 p.m. is what the CBI says that the FIR in the case was registered. So at 10:10 a.m. when there was a diary noting that said this was a case of unnatural death, the fact that a post-mortem was conducted because it was an unnatural death, why was an FIR not registered? That's a question that was asked in court today. Now, many would say that the TMC is defending the indefensible when they pat the back of the Kolkata police. Can the party and the state government deny some of these glaring details? The fact that the hospital did not file an FIR, it was filed on the victim's parents' insistence. That's something that came up in court today as well. The unnatural death diary entry that was made, but there was no FIR registered. Why so? Can somebody answer that? In fact, those answers were not found in the hearing today, which is why on September 5th, when the Supreme Court will hear the case next, today the CJI said that the next time we hear this case, please get a policeman who will know these details and these exact timings. The crime scene was not secured until after the post-mortem was done. The RG ex-principal now was rehabilitated by the state. He also has an OSD rank. Why then are these leeways being made? We have the CBI now investigating the case. For 7 straight days, the CBI has been looking at other people that may or may not have been involved, their role, including the ex-principal. But what has the CBI done in the last 1 week? Well, the CBI today in court said that by the time we were given the case, everything seemed to have been altered. We're not looking at the actual facts of the case while we're working with. Is that defense enough for the CBI to take off heat from themselves either? We'll take those questions to our guests in just a bit.
पहला दिन के हियरिंग के बाद हम लोग को यही आशा था कि एटलीस्ट सुप्रीम कोर्ट के ऑर्डर के बाद हमारे यहाँ पे सिक्योरिटी कंसर्न बढ़ेगा, यहाँ पे CISF डिप्लॉयमेंट होगा। सुप्रीम कोर्ट की हियरिंग के 2 दिन बाद आज सुबह को CISF डिप्लॉयमेंट यहाँ पे हो रहा है।
बीजेपी लड़ रहा है, जस्टिस मिलना चाहिए और ममता बनर्जी को तुरंत इस्तीफा दे देना चाहिए।
Let me open this up. Dr. Shashi Panja, Minister for Women and Child Development and Social Welfare at the Government of West Bengal, joins us. Spokesperson of the BJP, Anila Singh. Nazrul Islam, former ADG, West Bengal Police, and Dr. Manish Jangra, Chief Advisor and founder of FIMA, an organization that represents several medical representatives, several doctors in this country, joins us on this broadcast. But let me begin by asking Dr. Shashi Panja on this. You know, the kind of allegations, the kind of observations rather, that came to the fore from the Supreme Court. Many would say that the TMC is trying to defend the indefensible. How would you respond?
Good evening and good evening to everybody. Now, ma'am, I have in hand, and perhaps you too also have, the 10-page order of the Chief Justice of India on the hearing today. So, if we go through that, things are very clear. Now, there is one thing, and that is you have mentioned, thank you for mentioning about the Chief Minister's letter to the Honorable Prime Minister of India. Because there is a very important observation there too. We are not defending anything. It's just that within these 10 or 12 days that we are discussing, there have been 90 rapes reported daily, 4 every hour and 1 every 15 minutes. So we are in a situation where, first of all, there should be no politics over it, because we cannot say your rape and my rape and tera rape or mera rape. This is not the situation. And the 10-page order also, as you mentioned, including the National Trust for the Task Force, and also there were concerns of the 19 stakeholders who also participated regarding the peaceful protests of the doctors, and how the CGI also mentioned that it would be good if the doctors could go back to work, and that no coercive action should be taken against them, etc., etc. Yes, there was a verbal observation of one of the honorable judges regarding, as you mentioned, about, but that's not reflected in the order. Now, it is very unfortunate. There are two very important things which was again mentioned by the Standing Council on behalf of the state of West Bengal, and one is this, that there are certain reports in the social media and the otherwise media which has kind of escalated the situation in another direction. We are still waiting for the culprits to be arrested. So what the state government was submitting through the council was that when the Kolkata police handled the case, there was an arrest which was made within the first 24 hours, within the first 12 hours. Having said that, and the post-mortem report reveals or indicates that there are many more, we are also waiting. What did the Chief Minister ask in the very beginning is also reflected in what the Supreme Court is saying. We too are asking for justice. We too are asking that there should be no delay in arrest of further culprits. We are also asking for death penalty, the strictest of punishment. That is what Chief Minister has been asking from the very beginning, and that there should be justice. And that is what even Supreme Court Honorable CJI reflected, and the matter will again be taken up. He also mentioned that I have the post-mortem report in my hand. You see, it's so unfortunate. How did the post-mortem so-called such findings come out even before it was officially given? So he said, I have it in hand, and do not argue on basis of social media and things appearing in the media.
Sure.
I have the report in hand. I think these were very important. Kapil Sibal, the Standing Council of the State Government of India, did mention about the timelines. He has mentioned about the timelines. And since you have raised one, I just am highlighting that we are not defending anything. We are just saying that, and these are technical issues which I think the lawyers and the police understand better than us. And the GDE 576/2024 was recorded in that local police thana at 10:10 a.m. And then the Kolkata police proceeded to register the UD case, the unnatural death case, by 1:45 p.m. is what Kapil Sibal has submitted under UD case number 861 of 2024. And then to say that if there is a postmortem, when there is an unnatural death, of course there has to be a postmortem, because it's only the postmortem which will establish the nature, you know, whether it's homicide or suicide, etc.
Then why was that FIR and an unnatural death case not filed?
And yes, again a technical issue, ma'am, in which he has mentioned very clearly that and he took the bench through these relevant rules of the police regulation of Kolkata, 1968, and also mentioned the Gazette notification 2018 dated 15 January, which gives a detailed procedure and guidelines that needs to be followed by the state police with immediate effect relating to an unnatural death case. And he added that this unnatural death case is in the same format as that of an FIR, and it is treated with that same purpose. And then, of course, as you said, there was an
but then it was also said in court that the FIR was only filed on the parents' instance. Kapil Sibal also in this hearing, in the course of this hearing, has said that the parents, that the delay was there for 3 hours or so, or after the body was handed over to the parents, because the parents were not in any position to talk to the police or take this forward. And at the parents' insistence was the FIR finally registered. So then, which is it, that there was a technical issue, and which is why there was a 14-hour delay, or that there was an attempt to try and gloss it over, which is something that was hinted at during this course of hearing as well?
No, there is no attempt to gloss it over. This is not Badlapur, Maharashtra, or any of the other BJP governments. As we said, look at the records of the rapes which have been happening since then too. So it is okay. We are very open to this, to discuss. And even Chief Minister has said that she is in tune with the peaceful protest which is happening by the students, and she agrees that they should be protesting. True, the gruesome, the horrific incident which has taken place, we are not here to gloss over anything.
Sure.
But look at the order, the 10-page order which CGI has given. I think that will, you see, there may have been one or two verbal observations with regards to that, but you have to look at the order finally. And of course, 5th September, the police has been also been told, because these are technical issues, that he should also be there to, with the standing council. So what we are aggrieved about is that we are all asking for justice, but if there are political parties who are politicizing the issue, that's the unfortunate fallout of it. So what does any party politically
and that's
got to
not
do
something,
with this?
absolutely, and that's not something that should happen over a sensitive issue like this. Anila Singh, the Supreme Court may have asked the Kolkata police and the state government of the delay in filing the FIR, of why that was such. One judge even went on to say that, in 30 years I've never seen such a procedure like that, and it's bizarre some of the things that have happened. But the fact of the matter also is that the CBI has had this case for over a week now. For 7 straight days, they have investigated, interrogated one person who seems to be a suspect, or at least is in the vision of suspicion. But where has that gone?
My Ram Ram to all, and just now I was listening to the minister from Bengal, and she is Minister for Women and Child Development, and very brazenly she is advocating for the Mamata Banerjee's government. Not for a moment I could see any sort of apathy towards the girl who was raped, who was tortured, who was murdered. She is sitting here and simply advocating for Mamata Banerjee's government, the Chief Minister who herself.
I'm not going to take
I don't think, Anila Singh, I don't think there was, Anila Singh, yes. Dr. Panja, let me come in here. Anila Singh, I don't think there was any apathy. Dr. Panja, give me 10 seconds, please. Anila Singh, I don't think there was any apathy right at the outset and toward her entire response. Dr. Panja made it clear that we stand with the victim, and that Mamata Banerjee has also hit the streets. The TMC and the state government believes that they've done everything by the law.
Poonamji, allow me.
Yes, go ahead.
She was given all the time without any interruption.
Yes, please, go ahead.
I am representing my political party here, and just now, madam, she pointed towards the Bharatiya Janata Party government, wherever the Bharatiya Janata Party government is there, and she said, this is not Bharatiya Janata Party's government in Bengal, and we work differently. Ma'am, you're absolutely correct. It is your state where your government, under the nose and eyes and ears of your chief minister, your leaders, they rape poor women. Under the leadership under the governance of your leader, Mamata Banerjee, young doctor gets raped,
kind of a narrative?
And Ms. Panja, I did not interfere. And you should have some sort of patience.
No, you are not. This is a wild narrative. This is wild allegations. Please substantiate your allegations. You are trying to say that the state government is telling guys to go and rape her.
Dr. Panja,
discipline as well.
Okay, Dr. Panja and Anila Singh, let me please come in here. Dr. Panja, I will give you time. I will give you time to respond to her. Let her make her point. Let's keep this civil. And I would request everyone to keep this civil. Please, let's not try and call names. And I'm not saying this to any one particular person on the panel. Let's try and keep this civil, and let's stick to the subject at hand. Anila Singh, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Poonamji. And I hope Ms. Panja allows me to complete whatever I want to say here. I have to say one thing here. Ms. Banerjee has got all the time to give advice to Honorable Prime Minister Sahab. She says these many rapes happen in India. Perhaps she doesn't know the facts and figures about the rapes in India. More than 70%, they simply go unreported. So in this nation, if I talk about, one rape happens in 16 minutes. More than 90% of the cases of sexual assault, they go unreported. So what facts and figures she is talking about? She has to look after the law and order situation of her state. Instead of advising Mr. Prime Minister, I think Ms. Chief Minister should see what is happening under her nose in her state. Women are not safe here. I will plead all the people, all the youth living in this nation who believe in Nari Shakti, who believe in women's security, they should step out of their homes, they should step out of their comfort zone, and they should raise their voice why this is happening. Why this is happening in the state which is being governed by a woman chief minister who is not showing any sort of sympathy towards the victim and her family. Immediately they went to the family and they offered money. And just see, everything became crystal clear in the Supreme Court. Today Supreme Court again asked that what was happening there. One of the judges, honorable judges, he said that he has not seen such unresponsible behavior of the police in 30 years of his career. Their advocate, Mr. Kapil Sibal, he was laughing in the court, imagine. As if he is not discussing or debating or fighting a case for a woman. It was such irresponsible behavior, like the irresponsible governance of Ms. Mamata Banerjee. I think whole of the West Bengal now knows at least that this woman chief minister does not stand anywhere when we talk about the governance. There is no law and order there.
Sure, Anila Singh, you can make all the allegations that you want against your political rivals, against the chief minister, but you still haven't answered the question I asked you. The questions that the BJP raises about the conduct of the West Bengal police and how they didn't act in time, those same allegations could be made against the CBI as well.
See, CBI has got its own way of working. When they were not able to handle the situation or the case was transferred to CBI. CBI is not going to give any conclusions in haste. You know it very well that investigation is on. Queries are on. Each and every day, all of the media platforms.
So the same yardsticks are not being applied. That's the criticism that's really coming in. But let me get in the other two gentlemen on the panel as well who've been patiently waiting. Nazrul Islam, the kind of observations that came to the fore specifically against the police and the police's conduct, do you think those observations were fair that were made by the CGI bench?
On the observations of the highest court, it is very clear, and it was known earlier also, that the college and police authority from the very beginning were trying to cover up the case and shield the criminals. I am giving examples, so I am saying so. The parents of the victim were informed first that their daughter is ill. Then they were given the information that daughter has committed suicide. Just see. And when they reached the college and hospital, they were kept waiting from 3 hours before they can see the face of their daughter. If there was no activity of destroying the evidences, there is no ground that the parents could not be allowed to see the dead daughter. Just see, after the postmortem, the parents were there, but the dead body was not handed over to them. Police took the body to their native place, and the parents, they have said, were compelled to burn the body so that the second postmortem is not possible. An FIR was registered only after the burning of the body. Then come to the timeline you are discussing. The crime occurred at about 4. There is no doubt about it now. The college authority claims that they came to know about it at 9:30. And in 10:10, a GD was made in the police station to the effect that an unconscious body has been found in the seminar room. So RGK College, there is dearth of doctors. They cannot, they issue the death certificate. So they cannot say whether the victim is dead or she is unconscious. I think it was all deliberate attempt to derail the investigation and shield the criminals. And then the inquest was done on the UD case at 16-20 hours. I have seen the inquest. The injury stated there, the bleeding from private parts and other parts of the body. From there, no police officer should have. I worked in the Kolkata police for 7 years. I was DCDD, who supervised the investigation all cases of Calcutta police. So I can tell that no police officer with proper training should have any doubt that it was a case of murder and rape. So there is no point in starting an EUD case separately. They should have started a criminal case directly. Then come to the postmortem. There was allegation against the principal of the college, and the postmortem was conducted in that very college. And the professor and associate professor of the forensic medicine of the very college conducted the PM report. There was every possibility of being influenced by the principal, because the person who is conducting the PM were working under him. Then come, the EUD case was started at 23:30 hours and the FIR was started at 23:45 hours. The crime occurred at 4 early in the morning, and even if it is taken as truth that college authority came to know about it 9:30, the FIR is being registered at dead of night, 11:45. This clearly shows that there was a conspiracy to cover up the
Sure,
case.
whether there was a conspiracy or an attempt to cover up, that's something that will be investigated. But Dr. Panja, would you at least concede that there are some things that are suspicious? 30 seconds before I get in Dr. Manish Jangra as well.
What I would, absolutely, ma'am, I would just want to reiterate that we are digressing from the main issue. And that is, where are the rest of the culprits? Which CBI, after taking the case, it's almost 10 days, ma'am.
Sure.
It's 10 days. None have, they could not catch anybody. One. Second is, it is these very technical issues of police, the case diary, which the honorable justices of the Supreme Court are looking into. We can continue to talk, I can continue to refute, you can continue to defend.
Sure.
Everything can be done. You see, if evidence has been destroyed, then the Supreme Court has to say it. Because the State Council has also submitted seizure lists, videography, etc. Everything has been done. But more importantly, about the principal, and we are not defending anybody. He is corrupt, let everything be proven. Let SIT has already been constituted. The principal is being, the former principal is being called for the last 6 days by CBI.
Sure.
Arrest him.
Sure. So
Why
that same
don't you
sort of
arrest him
alacrity,
if you know
sure. So the
something?
questions of alacrity should be asked of all agencies. I understand that. That's what I asked.
No, ma'am, and one thing. Ma'am, just one thing. No, what's one? Anila Singh, through wild allegations, accused us. We are absolutely like as if we have told people to go and rape and murder her. Why do you stand by Brij Bhushan Saran Singh, Viren Singh of Manipur? Why are you standing by
Okay, let's not digress. Also, let's not compare one crime to another. One crime or one rape is not bigger or smaller than the other. Let's not.
So many things.
Yes, but
she said Mamata Banerjee is supporting rape,
which is when I interrupted her as well, ma'am. But let's try and stick to the subject at hand. Dr. Manish Jangra, unfortunately, over the last 20 minutes, what you've heard seems to be all that's being spoken of. Is that what many within the FIMA also believe? Many doctors do believe that the actual real cause somewhere seems to be getting lost.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to thanks you to invite me to your channel. I'm Dr. Manish Jangra, based on the FIMA. Basically, I would like to tell you one thing. If our organization would not have raised this issue in the Delhi or all over India, then this issue would have been of the suicide case only. And I am saying this, I am not saying this, the father of the girl is saying this, because there was huge mistakes by the Bengal police. I am not targeting any political party, and I am a political person, and our organization also a political. But I would like to tell you one thing. कि the police, even Supreme Court has directed all these things. The police has not played their duties well. So there were a lot of things that were trying to destroy it, and there were a lot of things that were trying to destroy later also. Like 14th August, there was mobs that entered into the campus, and they tried to break every room, CCTV room, every area. Like they just tried to destroy every evidence they could have done before CBI was reaching next day actually. So I'm just saying one thing. There seems to be some biggest conspiracy in this. Due to some unofficial sources that I'm getting some information, there is some son of some local party leader is there involved in this racket. Actually, he's also a doctor. Actually, according to me, unofficial sources we are getting.
But all
this
that's
information
speculation, sir, and let's not try and delve into realm of speculation.
I'm referring all these things from myself, but
Yes.
still. There is a huge conspiracy actually. Nobody want to speak anything. No student is able to speak anything because they are very afraid. But they message us personally everything what happened there, what is happening there, because this whole case was planned a few days ago only, because nobody knows what happened, how it is happened, and the person who was caught by the police, it seems to be scapegoat. So there are so many people are involved in this case. Police has not done their duty so well. So that's why we protested in the Delhi, the FIMA organization protested in Delhi, and we put pressure on the central government, and then Supreme Court directed the CBI to investigate into the case. So I'm just saying, why no political leader from, I'm not saying the name of the party, but no political leader from that government that is running this state has not tweeted since that day for next 5 to 6 days. No tweet was there from any member of this party that is running that government. But I want to say this thing, after our pressure was created, I know Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee protested against the Home Minister Mamata Banerjee and the Health Minister Mamata Banerjee. You know, Vipaks, opposition was on roads and the government was also on roads. Then who will take the accountability?
The common theme they say was asking for justice. And everybody is in their rights and wants to demand justice, seek justice for this victim and her family. And that's exactly what the TMC was also doing when Mamata Banerjee hit the streets. But from what has happened in the Supreme Court, the fact that CISF is now at RG Kaur, you've decided to call off your strike as well because of certain measures that have been put in place. The last 30 seconds, and I want to leave it at that. Are you happy with the measures that have been put in place? Would you have been happier if it wasn't the Supreme Court that had to force this and it was done organically by every state, by every hospital?
Yeah, basically Supreme Court, after the FIMA delegation went to the Supreme Court by the advocate Tanvi Dubey, the FIMA delegation, Dr. Risira Sinha was there, and Supreme Court directed the states to give their reply in the 2 weeks. And Supreme Court, I will read that statement that Supreme Court said to the statement, he directed all the states and the DGP of the police, kindly give the interim protection to every doctor working in your state and give the review them after the 2 weeks. So Supreme Court has given the 2 weeks time to them. So basically we would have been more happy if the central government also would have responded us very well, because the health minister till now has not assured of anything and he has not given any appointment to us
and
also.
That central protection law is a demand that is coming in from all quarters. In fact, unfortunately I'm completely out of time. Nazrul Islam, I did see you have your hand up, but I do not have the time, sir. But thank you so much for all of you for joining us here on this broadcast and sharing your perspective. Slipping into a quick break here on this edition of The Right Stand. But on the other side, we have the big debate coming in from Tamil Nadu. We have another actor who's now jumped into the political ring. Is this Vijay's party? Is his flag unveiling? Is his mission statement that he made today? Is that going to be a blockbuster, or will that be a flop with voters? We'll decode that.